Welcome to the Microsoft conference.
It's a briefing. We're not a conference. We're edgy.
Yeah.
See, he knows, like, the official gaming uniform.
Graphic tee of some sort.
Graphic tee,
yeah.
jacket, jeans. Take a drink every time you hear 4K during this conference.
The projector's only 4K.
Watching and interacting on Mixer on behalf of everyone.
Nobody is interacting on Mixer. This I can guarantee for certain.
The original Xbox team lived by the mantra, there's no power greater than X.
Except for the base PlayStation 4 being more powerful than the base Xbox One.
Xbox One X.
X.
That is a terrible idea. What?
We can't even call it X-Bone. It's X-Bone X.
Let's talk power, which starts with the specs.
Our dick is this big. Talk about the teraflops.
Oh
yeah.
Floppy.
So right from the start, all of your Xbox One accessories and games will work with Xbox One X.
Oh, well, of course they will. Did anyone really expect them not to? You're trying to sell a $500 thing on specs and you don't even mention frame rate.
Transistors and a 384-bit wide.
You mentioned how many transistors you got and not frame rate.
We've got camels.
4K rendered camels.
It's probably the Forza 6 port.
I thought Assassin's Creed got really weird all of a sudden. Look at our fucking car.
Porsche shares our vision for the future of racing and esports. And this car...
Porsche does not share a vision of esports. Apparently they're extending the mix pot. Can you explain what the mix pot is exactly? Whether I would like to be in it.
Is the mix pot something that they stole from the Creator Cave from yesterday's conference?
It's entirely possible.
I'm gonna play.
Really? There is no way in a million years that you did not staff that entire area with people
It's like
to
you
cheer
brought
for you.
everyone down from Bungie, didn't you?
The largest and most diverse games lineup on an Xbox? Compared to what?
I do have questions about the mixed pot giveaway. What is
a
this?
mix pot? Oh, it's a new Metro. I had no idea they were making a new one of those. Hopefully you do not have to pay for Ranger mode this time again. Nope, all you did was piss it off.
And now you're gonna die.
Don't provoke the bear.
Looks like on Xbox One X.
You went X-Bone. Hello. On our X-Boner. Oh, aye. Look, legendary bow. Oh, God.
Available when you pre-order Assassin's Creed.
Everything has a loot system now. Level up ability points, skill trees. Oh.
This is just all going so downhill. It's like it started with frame drops, then icons, and then
every damn Ubisoft game. Every Ubisoft game, they homogenize their mechanics and design philosophies and systems so much you can't even tell the difference between the games anymore. You know?
The official gamer uniform. Did you play Goat Simulator Payday?
I have self-respect.
Well, no one's taking you to the Golden Corral buffet.
Oh my.
How will you find the strength to carry on?
That's what I was wondering during the EA conference yesterday. Oh, it's another Battle Royale game. Right after you pushed PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, you're gonna do that?
And what a play from the Wounded Warrior. She was caught in a trap, but she used superior tactics.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Somebody from Mixer decided to chime in.
Please tell me, so the idea is you're gonna have an esports event where people on the stream can put things directly on the screen. That sounds like the worst idea ever.
More graphical options to the game.
Well, yeah, that's the priority in Minecraft, isn't it? 4K! Coming this fall, what you could get in a free mod on PC 10 years ago. God raised.
I swear, if you all have died from alcohol poisoning at this point, you know, I guess as long as you
if
leave
you were
your
playing the 4K drinking game, you made a horrible mistake.
Yeah.
When the Minecraft team showed me the first version of the game in 4K, I was blown away.
You were not.
But bringing the biggest blockbuster...
Applauding digital pre-orders. Edgelord, the video game. Like Dark Souls, but you didn't think there was enough anime boobs in it? Well, don't worry, we have the game for you. Is it not a little odd to have them sort of directly address streamers in a trailer like this.
Yeah, it's like, hey.
I feel a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you want to stream this because you know you're going to get viewers, and we would love that free marketing. Please,
Yeah, we would.
please. Loading yourself into the cannon.
Well, we saw it happen earlier.
And boarding a ship with it is pretty metal. I'll give it
You
that.
know, if Jack Sparrow were captaining that ship, that would have happened.
Yeah, but that's without the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
Yes, but you have heard of me. Next.
Cuphead's never coming out. You're just gonna have to accept it.
Shut up, Terry Crews.
Too much man for me, love. I'm sorry.
Are they counting all of these little games in here as part of their 42? Probably.
Yes,
Of
probably.
course they are.
They really don't have a lot going for them, do they?
Yes.
There you go.
I'll have a go.
Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Every orc in the world is from the northeast of England.
And so they kind of see this as like their Terminator 2, so it's supposed to be just that much better
Well,
than the original.
sorry, because the Terminator was better than Terminator 2.
know.
Fight me.
Depends.
Fight me. Oh, mate. Get out the problem of Magnus. Oh. In brackets, screaming foreign language.
Ah.
Oh, hello.
A musical performance.
We're going a little bit Sony, are we? Oh, it was kind of wonderful.
It was beautiful.
God, that
and I know it's just like
background detail is so
it
good.
kills me every time this game. Yeah, please, John, please snark over this.
Oh, please. Even I'm not that heartless. Cheer up the damn owl. Give it a hug. Hug it. There you go.
Crimson Skies.
Yeah, great game.
OG games will look better and play better across the Xbox One family.
I mean, you would bloody hope so.
4K updates to these titles for free.
I bloody well hope you don't charge for that.
And on Xbox One X, runs every single game you've seen even better.
Bloody well hope so. It's twice the price. Patrick's back. All right. Well, someone got some real facial animators this time. His face is very tired.
He has also been locked in the creator game. Never gonna let it go.
It's Destiny, innit?
Nice, you've got a mortar equipped.
Oh,
You lead the way.
it's fake VoIP. That was a beautiful water dive effect, I'll give him that. The question is, will fish react to you as you dive into the water in a realistic fashion? The power of the cloud will allow for it, no doubt. God, that could not be more Destiny if they tried! Look at it!
Kind of like, almost like Microsoft just said, well, screw you, Sony.
Well, that's true, considering,
Yeah.
it's like Sony secures Destiny 2. It's like, well, we got Anthem, which is a better Destiny then. And that's probably about it. Yeah, this will be the sizzle at the end.
This will be our last push of, look at all this junk you can play on this amazing console.
Man, if they showed that trailer during the EA conference, we probably wouldn't have shit on it as hard as we did.
True story.
Yep, that is absolutely it, folks. All right, let's get some music on and do our little wrap-up on the Microsoft conference. By no means bad.
No.
Not in the slightest. You know, no one could describe that as a bad show.
I kind of wish they would have led off the entire E3 conference instead of EA. Because then maybe...
EA just had to get out there day
yeah,
early, didn't
well,
they?
I mean,
had to set that bar low.
That's their jam. And I guess, in a way, it kind of makes sense if they were supposed to be giving the initial taste of the new IP for Anthem, and then following that up today. I guess the order of that makes a bit more sense now, but...
Yeah, Anthem is on PC, yes. Nothing that you saw on that stage today isn't coming to PC, but which is good, because we were concerned before this that Microsoft may have started to backpedal on that, especially with the Windows 10 store not being anywhere near a success, because it's just a dumpster fire of awful ideas.
Right.
But it seems like they are going harder on that, which is great.
I am slightly disappointed to not see even a small taste or a small teaser for Halo 6, especially given the whole, we're going to show you 40 some odd games here, I think they could have, definitely thrown in a little bit of a taste there, but especially, I guess, if they're working on all of these games and the new technology, everything that's coming out in the fourth quarter of this year, like, who got time to make anything new at this point?
Well, considering how much they're releasing in November already.
That's what I mean. Forget your summer, kids, if you work anywhere around Microsoft.
Yeah, so the big focus, 4K, 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 on everything possible.
It's like, if you're still alive after that alcohol poisoning, if you played that drinking game...
I hope you didn't.
Yeah, I really hope you didn't. as
I
well.
certainly hope not. We expected it to open with Scorpio. The emphasis on 4K, the techno babble at the start didn't help. The problem I have with it is what I was afraid of, that outside of Forza, 60 FPS was never mentioned again.
Yeah.
The Anthem footage was at 30, 100%. It's not going to be an issue for me, because all those games are coming to PC, so I don't care.
But for the consumer...
Yes, because ultimately, not emphasizing that has a knock-on effect on everything. You know, you get developers who think, oh, it's okay to develop at 30 and not give the option, so when you do have an exclusive game you're stuck with console on, you don't have the same experience. You have cross-compatibility issues if you want cross-play. There have been companies that have said we can't do that because if a PC's running at 60 and a console's running at 30, the guy has an advantage, which is nonsense. You know, it's like nobody cares about that. But yeah.
I did want to see them show at least one more game that was more complex than a racing game at 60. Just to kind of prove the machine could do it. You know, I mean, the specs alone are higher than what you get with the PS4 Pro, but I mean, that doesn't mean everything when it comes to like how games are entirely designed, you know, how they function once they're complete and optimized for that actual system. So I'm curious to know, you know, are we only going to get racing games that can run at 60 on this console? And is that actually a reason to buy it?
Well, we go back to the fact that most people still don't have 4K capable devices.
Or a 4K TV to really even...
Well, exactly. That's why they're trying to push the whole, they'll be upscaling and super sampling, which makes very little difference. But again, what I care about is, all right, if I have a 1080p device, can I just run at 60 and then there's 4K 30? That's the best of both worlds. We're seeing quite a bit of that on the PS4 Pro. As a PC owner, I saw nothing that made me want to own a Scorpio, with the exception, which I don't need a Scorpio for anyway, of playing Crimson Skies again, you know?
Yeah.
That's about it. Whereas the PS4 Pro is sitting there being fairly frequently used. What really gets me is that you really push this new machine. It doesn't have a single new interesting feature. When we've seen Sony continue to have things like remote play, and then we see Nintendo go full on with the Switch saying this is portable and look at all these different ways to play and all this functionality. And then we look at Microsoft and it's just dead silence. Outside of cross-play, which, you know, is just cross-buy really, it doesn't do anything that the other machines don't do. At all. It's more powerful than the PS4 Pro. We get it. It doesn't do anything that the other machines don't.
Do you expect it to do something else when I guess it's sort of considered a mid-generation console?
It's just about service, you know. Remote play for Sony has been around since the PS3.
Right.
That's something that you can do streaming from the PC to your Xbox, which sort of allows you to put it on a television, but remote play is a bit more flexible, allows you to use it on more devices. And the weird thing about when Xbox One first came out and got announced, they were saying a bunch of things that the other consoles couldn't do. You know, focus on what happened to the watching NFL with the whole fantasy booking thing coming in on the side. I know it was a lot of stuff we didn't care about, but it was something that the PlayStation didn't do.
Right.
And now Microsoft is playing catch up with a more powerful system that doesn't do anything different or new to any of these other platforms. And obviously with no focus at all on VR.
Yeah, well, not for this
any
conference.
sort?
Not for this conference, and I think it's because they had just so much to show. That's my hope anyway. Not that they just decided to pull back and wait. Yeah,
for a PC user, obviously, if you throw the whole aspect of the console out the window, what we saw there was great for PC users because here's a bunch of games that look good, and if you're an Xbox user already, here's a bunch of games that look good. From a business standpoint, we are lagging behind Sony, I don't think that's going to help them that much.
I think you're becoming a Sony fanboy.
I'm not a Sony fanboy. I stare at the reality of Sony's lineup.
He says as his PS4 Pro sits next to him and he rubs it lovingly.
I mean, I don't love it. It's a necessary evil in my office.
I understand, but I'm just saying the Xbox has never made it in your office.
Of course, for me, it's good that the Xbox is not a necessary evil for me because of the PC support that you're getting, which is great, and I really approve of that. I don't know how it's not going to help Xbox in terms of it losing to the PlayStation in terms of sales. That's not going to help it.
Oh, console wars aside, I think we saw a lot of really good games.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And I'm excited for a handful of them.
Metro.
Yeah, the sequel to Ori.
Yeah.
Life is Strange 2. I know that wasn't your cup of tea,
No,
but
I don't care about it.
I like my story-driven, crazy stuff like that, and a lot of other people seem to dig it too.
Yeah. Shadow Mordor looks great. A
got-
lot of those indie games look great.
Weeb Souls.
I'm not into Weeb Souls.
No,
not in the
neither
slightest.
am I. So that was interesting. Crackdown.
Yes.
That'll be interesting to see more of that and really get more of an idea.
That did say
just
Windows
how-
10, didn't it?
It did.
I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe so.
There was nothing there that isn't coming to Windows 10, right?
Not that I don't know.
Not that I know of. Not that I saw.
There were so many games. So many games.
and-
And I'm not upset by that. I'm not
No,
upset by that.
no, why would I
At
be?
all. So I think that anybody who had expectations going into this probably, wasn't. I don't believe it would be a letdown for anyone unless you really expected Scorpio to do something
Radically
crazy.
different.
Yes.
Which
But knowing that
doesn't.
we already had the specs before even going into this conference,
people are saying Cuphead is not coming to PC. That would be a shock if that were true.
that'd be devastating.
It's also 100% false. CupheadGame.com says Xbox One, Windows 10. It's not coming to PlayStation. That's the thing. And also, the exclusivity actually, I was completely wrong. Last year, they said it was exclusive PC and Xbox One. In 2016.
So have they backpedaled and they literally snatched up the full exclusivity?
They had it anyway. They had it in 2016.
I just mean like throwing it only for console.
No, it's on PC.
Okay.
So it's the same as it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot that. I didn't know that was the case. Apparently, it was also always an exclusive. Weird.
Yeah, I'm really excited to go play Metro again, just so I can play the new Metro when that comes out.
Yeah, I could dive right back in on that.
Yeah.
It was a show. To me, it was a show for people that already own an Xbox.
Yeah.
They're saying, look, we're still very much in the market. There's going to be a ton of great games coming out. Just stick with us. And if you want a better version of the Xbox, we have the Xbox One X available for you.
And I do actually feel like it was also for people who perhaps aren't in like who haven't already acquired an Xbox device.
I don't think it was for them.
Well, I just mean in the fact that, the price point of the entry right there, you can't at this point, as you said earlier, build a PC with those kinds of specs for that same price.
You're totally
and so
right. 100% right.
I do believe that, from that standpoint, it might be an opportunity for some people to jump into getting an Xbox if they don't have one. Although I honestly and personally do not know anyone who does not own either console, either an Xbox or a PlayStation.
You bring up an interesting point that I didn't think of, that it may very well be an attempt to pull people that have older PCs away from PC back to console. Just saying, look, the reason you own a PC, we have all of those games, we have the variety, and we have the power, and it's at an affordable price, rather than you saying, oh, well, my motherboard's out of date, my CPU's out of date, my GPU's out of date, I'm still running Windows 7, I've got to upgrade to Windows 10, look at the cost of this, compared to just buying a $500 box that does it all.
Right.
That is actually a pretty good sell. For those who are currently running decent PCs...
There's no reason to get it.
No, but Microsoft, that's the thing, Microsoft doesn't really care, do they?
No, they have enough money. Why would they?
If you buy their games through Windows 10 or anything they publish, they're still making money off
Yeah,
that.
so I mean, they don't rely on their console sales so much anymore.
No, they at least they're starting to treat Windows 10 as part of their actual ecosystem. Remember back when Windows 7, they were just ignoring it even existed when it comes to their games. It's like, no, why would you do that? That's bonkers. Of course, I'll still stick to PC. That to me, that I don't see a reason as any higher end or mid range PC owner to own a Xbox X at all. But I guess I'm not the target market.
No, it's
so
like
that's fine.
I don't buy my games on like the Windows 10 store.
I don't blame you.
I am a Steam user and I'm not ashamed to say it. It's just how it is. So when these games eventually hopefully come to Steam,
A lot of them do.
then-
A lot of them have. Not all of them.
Right.
Once you've got the damn game installed, it's fine. It's the process of buying it and installing it that is a pain in the arse.
It's like you better make it very, very easy for me to purchase it and for
And right now
updates
it's
to be
not.
automatically updated. And I need to be able to jump in, play your game, and and it not to be a hassle. If it's difficult for me, I'm sorry, but I have so many other things to do and so many other games to play.
I would have wanted them to spend at least 5 minutes of that saying, we have a relaunched Windows 10 store. It's much, much better. Here's the functionality we have. Here, here's us pretending that we're not 10 years behind where Valve and Origin are right now. But not a peep. Yeah. It's just like, just ignore it. It's like, look, you're bringing out all these cross-platform games, and the venue by which you're selling them is terrible. That's the problem. And you haven't addressed it.
I wish I had an answer for that, but I don't, because I agree with you. It's like, I'd love to challenge you on that, but I completely agree with you. That's why I don't use their storefront. I just can't. It's just, no. No, it's a shame. I do feel like that conference was not targeted at us. It wasn't for us.
Yes and no.
It was there to show us the games.
A lot of them that we already were out.
And that's kind of it.
Which is fine.
Really.
There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, considering we whined about
not having that with the previous conference.
Yeah, it would be pretty hypocritical to complain about it. It's just, we went into this thinking they've got to do something to set themselves apart from Sony, and they elected not to do that. They elected to stay the course, and I don't know how well that's going to work. But
we saw the Sony conference coming up, though. I mean, it's...
Well, you mentioned this, and that in EA as well, that they were focused on games coming out in the next 4 quarters.
Yes.
Microsoft are as well. Yes. Sony are the guys that tend to throw things out 2 or 3 years in advance.
Exactly.
That's the difference, Sony's like, this is where we're going. Microsoft's saying, this is where we are.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's more grounded.
I prefer
my bullshit.
It that
my
way.
bullshit-ometer did not go off during that conference very much, which is nice.
One of the main reasons we don't actually attend these conferences so much anymore is because it seemed to me like our audience, well, mostly your audience, I'm going to say, because I don't participate in this quite as often, but your audience tends to like it when you cover games that they can purchase right now.
Right now.
And otherwise, there's no reason to cover it, because it's like, I can't get my hands on it. I can't, if there's not a demo, if there's not live beta right now, and even if there is a beta, I kind of really don't care. I want to play the game when it's finished. I want what you're showing me. I want to play what that trailer is showing me that I'm going to be able to play right now.
Not in 3 years.
Right. And so for me, like, the Microsoft conference was kind of like that in a way. It's like, I can at least I know I'll be able to play a lot of these things in November. Yeah. That's cool.
The flip side of stuff being that far out is that the Sony conference tends to surprise a lot more as a result, because it's like, yes, we have new announcements. Yes. We have new stuff to show you.
But you won't be able to play it for 2 years.
It's the shock and awe factor versus this kind of practical approach that Microsoft's had for the last couple of years.
And the problem I have with some of the Sony conferences in the past is when they do stuff like that, like, oh, you're going to be able to play this amazing game 2 years from now, then they cancel it before it even gets out there.
True.
I'm not going to say anything about games like, was it Scalebound, whatever?
Well, Scalebound's cancelled, and this is one of the issues that Microsoft has. They don't have exclusives. I know people are going to turn around and say, TB, you don't like exclusives. I know. I'm not talking about what I like. I prefer that's not that I don't have to switch over a console to play a game. But the business reality is that exclusives sell consoles. That is a fact.
True.
And Microsoft doesn't have them. Sony does. And Sony in 2017 is rocking it in that regard. And Microsoft isn't. So that is that. But I'm very happy as a PC owner that I'm not worried too much about that. That everything that I see there, I'm going to be able to play. And a lot of it looked really good.
I'm actually kind of happy just as a consumer, as someone who, well, as a corporate consumer, that I don't have to worry about buying a console for you in November. Ta-da! And no, you're not getting it anyway. You have literally spent the last however many minutes reasoning with me why you don't need one. No, exactly. But you have done this in the past where you're like, but this is my job. I have to have one so that way I can talk about it on the podcast. Guess what? You just argued yourself out of getting...
And it's on record now.
It is completely on
record. I
record.
can't get away with it.
All of you are my witnesses.
God
this
damn
man
it.
will
Don't enable
not...
her.
He will not be getting an Xbox XXX Porn X console.
That's what the holodeck's for, am I right?
No.
Eee.
No. It's too small to get lost.
Yeah, that is another thing that, that Microsoft obviously, they have some interest in VR. They've got nothing to show. Sony already has a VR system out, and by all accounts, it works relatively well. I don't own it because I've got the PC-related ones, but they have games and exclusives on them, and that is shifting units. They've sold over 1 million of the things already. That is another reason to buy Sony, and Microsoft does not have something like that. And as I said, I think the Xbox One X is going to sell poorly. I do.
I think that it'll sell well for people who don't already have an Xbox or people who want to play original Xbox games. Like, for example, if you were a child who is now a teenager, like, for example, my son, who, when he was of the age to actually play video games, the 360 is what, he missed all of the original Xbox games. So
that backwards compatibility is quite tempting, I'll admit.
So that is a reason for a sale, or just me from a
But
pure
you don't need an
consumer
X
standpoint.
for that, do you?
You don't, but
The price difference is the issue I've got with it. Because you're saying, well, you're not in the console market now, so you want to get in. Well, here are your choices. PS4 Pro at $399, assuming they don't drop its price right before the launch of the X, which I would absolutely expect them to do. I would expect $50 off the Pro just before the X comes out of $500, just to undercut them. And then you're spending $250 on a S, and it's about $250 for a regular PlayStation 4. And then you're asking $499 of a parent, you're asking $499 of a student, $499 of anybody. That's without any games or any accessories. That's a tough sell in my opinion.
but as a parent who actually still has her original Xbox games.
Yeah, but you can get a normal Xbox for
Of
that.
course, of
you can
course.
just get an S for that.
Yeah, I know,
Half price.
but even like hooking. Do we even have connectors that hook up to our TVs that match that anymore? Ooh, I don't remember. It's been a while.
Well, yeah. Again, though, you just buy an Xbox One S, the regular
yeah, the
Xbox
S.
One,
Yeah, sure.
and play those backwards compatible games
yeah,
at
yeah.
half the price.
I'm just saying they're
So-
hitting multiple markets. I don't think that there's anything wrong with them releasing this as like a a mid-generation console. I don't think there's any
I have nothing
harm in
wrong
it.
with it in principle. I just
No,
I don't
but
know who
you're-
they're selling it
But
to.
that's the whole thing. You're playing console wars versus a PS4 Pro, and
or anything, any PlayStation or a Switch or anything else.
really you wanna go versus a Switch?
Well, power-wise, it's irrelevant, but look at what you can do with a Switch. You can take it with you. It's portable. It's got
well-
exclusive games. The Xbox does not. People saying, by the way, the S was cut to 200. Very limited bundles for the next week only. Standard price will be $249. The Verge article was very much wrong on that. That was confirmed several times. It's a kind of enthusiast console, I guess. Like I said, if PS4 Pro's not selling well at 400, I don't think this will at 5. It's a tough one. It's a real toughie. But there is an X factor. A
Oh no.
4K Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
Big deal. A lot of people have
Is
4K.
it?
Yes.
Is it to you?
Yes.
Okay.
And you want to know why? Because you got a 4K television, you don't have the media to play on it.
That's the whole thing, though. It's like, and this is the scenario that I would imagine I would face again as a parent, because I have a teenager. Is going to be a situation of, well, I want to be able to play this, and I want to be able to play it in 4K, but Mom, we don't actually have a 4K TV, and I want to be able to see this. I don't want it to be super sampling. I don't want this whole upscaling.
Who's going to say that?
Our son.
Oh, okay, yes.
Our son
but he's
will
a big,
say this.
He's a big dork, and you know it. Big dork.
He is your son. What do you think you trained him to say?
95% of the time he's playing Gary's mod. He doesn't care about 4K.
The fact that you think that your kid trying to talk you into a 4K television. I'm sorry, did you just...
You wouldn't have to talk me into a 4K television.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. Witness, everyone right here, right now, witness. This man just talked himself out of getting a 4K television for Christmas this year.
I
don't care about your
I'm
monitor.
sitting in front of
I don't
a 4K
care about your one
design
monitor.
monitor.
You have one monitor versus two. You have one that's not 4K, and then you have one that is 4K.
Yeah, because the other one's 144 hertz. And
Yeah,
besides, the new Ace of Predators out that's 4K, 144
you can
hertz.
sit in your little dungeon,
HDR.
and you can bring your little
I
PS4
like my
Pro
dungeon.
in here
I
and
love
just
me
play
dungeon.
on your 4K monitor
Uh-huh.
and just have all that fun to yourself.
Oh, yes.
And for Christmas, you get nothing. Nothing.
The Microsoft conference, ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
Where I rip more on my husband than on Microsoft themselves.
I mean, Microsoft didn't have a lot to rip on, like, honestly.
No, they showed me exactly what I wanted to see
That's
besides Halo 6.
That's why I can't wait for Ubisoft tomorrow.
And see, this is the whole thing. It's like, I want my child to be able to experience Master Chief. It's like, I want that for him. Xbox.
Get
yes.
Halo on PC. Just give it up. Come on.
No! It's so much better with the Xbox controller.
I'm disowning you right now. You do not get to say that.
I do.
Disgraceful. All right, that wraps us up, folks. We're back today. We got more later on tonight. Make sure you pick up your coffee because the Bethesda conference is basically at midnight tonight Eastern. Schedule's on the screen right now. We've got a countdown in the chat as well. Expectations for that one. We hear leaks about Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus. There is some sort of AAA freemium thing they're working on that's unannounced. And it'll probably be 20 minutes of Elder Scrolls Online.
Ugh.
Arf. Yes.
You don't get to say that.
I do.
No, you may have
Xbox
pre-ordered
X
something.
gonna give it to you.
You may have pre-ordered
arf.
something. You may have pre-ordered something. That's all I'm saying. You may have pre-ordered something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll be back. If you missed any of this, I'm rerunning it right after this, so stay tuned. Rerun of the Microsoft conference happening in the next few minutes, and we'll be back for Bethesda at midnight. Thank you for watching and for your continued support. Thank you for making us, I believe, the largest... Well, we don't count Lyrics. It's unfair to count Lyric. One of the biggest English-speaking streams here on Twitch for the Twitch conferences. Over 35,000 concurrent viewers. Unbelievable. That's amazing sport. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate that. We hope to break that 40K barrier for Ubisoft. There will be comedy. There will be cringe.
Yes, there will be.